Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Qigong practice, medical Qigong practice. We're working on the basic golden eight. We're working on the golden eight. Basic eight is different. We're working on the golden eight. So let's go ahead and get started opening up. I'm going to mirror you. We're opening up to the left. The feet are parallel so that the channels are open evenly in the front of the body and the back of the body. We're settling into the space, settling into the moment, allowing the tip of the tongue to touch the roof of the mouth. We're breathing in and out through the nose as we take the hands into loose fists and then start swaying from side to side. As the low back starts to open up, as the spine starts to relax a little bit, you can add a little bit more momentum. Allowing the mind's eye to connect to the area that's being tapped, that vibration being generated. Allowing that vibration to start opening the channels, relaxing the tissue, facilitating qi and blood movement. And gradually we're allowing that lead arm to travel up the body towards the opposing shoulder. Still breathing in and out through the nose. Allowing the breath to travel deep into the abdomen. Then allowing that lead arm to travel back down the torso to the waist and the lower dantian, the lower energy center. Before then backing off of the momentum, gradually allowing the body to come back to the center, coming back to stillness. Before then widening the stance to open up the channels in the lower half of the body, tapping the inner thigh and then up at the hip. Transitioning, starting from the hip, traveling down the inner aspect of the legs towards just above the ankle or wherever it's comfortable for you. Traveling to the lateral aspect of the legs before then making your way back on up towards the hips and the glutes. Once you reach the glutes, sliding that left foot a little closer to the right, maintaining that hip width, shoulder width distance. And then tapping up into the lower back, just underneath the rib cage, wherever it's comfortable for you. Waking up the low back. Relaxing the tissues and the musculature of the low back. Waking up the kidneys and that kidney energy. Placing the palms at the low back, circling down the sides and up the spine. Bringing a little bit of warmth to the area. And resting the palms at the low back, closing the eyes. And as you inhale through the nose, guiding the breath and the chi to the low back, allowing it to fill up with energy. Exhaling, allowing that energy to flow to wherever it's needed within the body. Inhaling, guiding the breath and the chi to the low back and the kidneys, allowing that area to fill up with energy. And then exhaling, allowing that energy to flow freely to wherever it's most needed within the body. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. Allowing the mind to connect with the breath. Allowing the breath to help relax the body. And allowing the body and mind and breath to come into this moment. When you're ready, gently opening the eyes, letting the arms come back down to the sides and closing by bringing that left foot back to the right. Our Golden 8 series, starting with the lung and large intestine exercise. Reach for happiness. Opening. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. And out. Continuing on at your own pace, speeding up or slowing down the movement to coordinate it with the breath. And getting ready to close. Closing. Our second exercise for the heart and small intestine, the Archer exercise, opening up. And inhaling, exhaling, in, and out. Continuing on at your own pace, allowing your breath to guide the movement. Moving as slowly or as quickly as you need to be able to relax into the exercise. And getting ready to close. Closing. Our third exercise between heaven and earth, spleen and stomach. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Allowing the breath to draw forth each movement. allowing the movement to be an expression of the breath. And getting ready to close. And closing. Our fourth exercise, the Sanjiao triple burner exercise. Turn and look back, opening. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. Continuing on at your own pace. And getting ready to close. Closing. Our gallbladder liver exercise or liver and gallbladder exercise. Twist and release. Opening. Inhaling. And exhaling. In and out. Working with your own breath now. Getting ready to close. Closing. Our kidney urinary bladder exercise, bend for health. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling back to standing. Continuing on. Allowing yourself to be engaged with each movement, with each moment, with each breath. And getting ready to close. And closing. Our Ren channel conception vessel exercise, the energy punch, opening. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. And exhaling. And getting ready to close. closing. And our energy punch, energy jump for the dew and governing vessel. It's in 2 parts. Opening up. Inhaling. And then exhaling. Continuing on at your own pace. Part 2. And then closing. Finishing up. Bringing the palms together, transferring some of that chi to the palms, bringing the feet together so that we can retain all that wonderful energy. Placing the palms at the lower dantian. Traditionally, men place their left hand first, right hand on top. Women, it's right and then left. I'm not going to mirror you here. We're all going to travel up the right and down the left for our 9 circles. And then traveling in the opposite direction. Resting the palms at the lower dantian, 3 to 4 finger rests beneath the belly button. Closing the eyes. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. As we inhale, guiding the breath in the chi to the lower dantian, allowing it to fill up with energy. And as we exhale, allowing that energy to settle and store so that we may use it throughout the rest of our day. Inhaling, guiding the breath in the chi to the lower dantian. Exhaling, allowing that energy to settle and store. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. Allowing the mind and body to rest and relax. Thank you everyone so very, very much for coming and practicing with us on this Wednesday morning. Henry, please take over.
Good morning, everybody. How are you guys? So today we're going to talk in our Chi Chat about a continuation of what we talked about a couple days ago on, what is it today? It's Wednesday. Yes. On Monday, we talked about the Yin and Yang, right? So we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. Let me make sure that, let me pull up the Yin and Yang thing just to make sure you guys are all on the same page. Let's see here. Okay. So here's the yin and yang symbol. Let me pull up the whiteboard. Where did that go? Okay. Nope. How does this work? Boy, I had this working the other day. Oh, here we go. Okay, so let me just draw the outline here. My circle is quite perfect, right? All right. So the reason why we talk about yin and yang is because it's a great way to understand the universe and also ourselves. Why is that so? Okay, so we look at a lot of opposites, and in a way, we're composed of a lot of opposites. Physics-wise, you can look at like positive and negative charges, right? Electrons, atoms, and then also all the way up to kind of the macro level, feminine energy, masculine energy, look all around us in our lives. Okay, so the example I gave before about the sun and the moon, sun being more yang, moon being more yin, the sky above us is more yang, the earth below us is more yin. So those are some examples of the contrast between yin and yang, and also internally within us, right? So our conscious mind, for example, would be more yang, versus our subconscious would be more yin. Okay, what's more hidden versus what is more visible. Okay, so that's one way to look at this relationship between yin and yang. But within that, right? So even within, say, our monkey mind, which would tend to be more of our subconscious, that will generally tend to be more yin. But even within that, there is a yang side and a yin side. So I do want to emphasize that none of these relationships are absolute. They're relative to one another. Okay. Within the 5 elements, for example, okay, so opposites would be like fire and water. Fire would be more yang, water would be more yin. But within each of those elements, there is a yin aspect and a yang aspect. And that's why it's so important to look at this symbol here, this yin and yang symbol, because you see both. And they're comprised, at the end of the day, they're the same, like they're part of one whole, even though they are opposites. And why is it a circle instead of, say, an octagon or a triangle? We look at things in life as a circle, okay? There is a beginning and an end, but then the end goes back to beginning, and you restart the cycle again. Seasons, okay? Spring, summer, fall, winter, and then from there it goes back to spring again. Okay, so we see these cycles that happen a lot in our lives, and even if we look up at the night sky, which is one big inspiration for a lot of these understanding of the world. It's just observing around us. So we look at the night sky and we can see the stars going kind of in a circular pattern. I do a lot of photography, so if you do like long exposure photography, you'll see things are, because it's the earth rotating, right? So we see in the solar system, things are rotating in more or less like a circular path. So we sort of see that a lot, being patterned throughout everything that we see in the universe. Okay, so that's one important thing, is that this is circle, like a circle of life, okay? Beginning and end, different cycles in the world, things that have happened before will probably happen again, okay? So we have the cyclical nature of things. We have the opposites that we just talked about, okay? And then the last time we talked about that balance, right? That line in the middle, that squiggly, the S line. It's not, the reason why it's not like a vertical line, like a, ooh, whoops. Okay, the reason why it's not a vertical line is because balance does not always mean 50-50. It sometimes means 60-40, could mean 70-30, could mean 10-90. Okay, so that balance is different depending on where you are along that path, along that cycle. And then another principle that you want to know about is that within yang, there's yin, and within yin, there's yang. And that's why there's the two little circles here in the midst of, so like, for example, the top little circle, this is yin within a large body of yang, right? So we say, actually, they mutually transform with another. So extreme yang becomes yin, and extreme yin becomes yang, so they can transform and mutate and change. So this principle of opposites also means they're one and the same, because when you have too much of one, it becomes the other. So it's quite a fascinating principle of how yin and yang relationship works. So there's some things to think about for today. We're going to talk more about yin and yang principles tomorrow, but one thing to look at today is just look around you and look at the relationship of yin and yang that you see in your life, right? Your internal self, your external self, what's in front of you, what's in back of you, what's hard, what's soft, what's above, what's below, okay? So all of these things that we have relationships with in our lives, you can sort of split it into yin and yang. You know, and we talk a lot about like emotions, for example, anger and passion, okay? So those are different aspects of yin and yang that expresses itself in our lives. So you can express anger in a very active way, like you want to punch out somebody, that's more yang, versus like if you have it kind of simmering inside anger, that'll be more of a yin expression of anger, okay? And some people have more of an active passion, and other people have more of a quiet passion, okay? So just some things to think about, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'll take any questions right now if you have any.